Hello, my name is Narayan Panta and today I am going to teach you what are the components that are essential in web development. First, domain name. It's the part of a network address that identifies it as belonging to a particular domain. For example, www.google.com is a domain name, and I want to clarify you what actually is domain name with the simple example of SIM card. Domain name is simply just like a SIM card. In SIM card, how many SIM card do you can purchase in the market? You can a lot of, isn't it? But can you purchase this SIM card that I have one? You cannot. However, you can buy from me. In the same manner, domain name can be also registered a lot, but you cannot register or purchase that domain name which has been already used. However, you can purchase that domain name from that person who have registered earlierly. Next is web server. Web server actually is the computer that stores, processes and delivers web pages. It provides web space, and in it there is the usage of hypertext transfer protocol, in short form HTTP, to serve the web pages. As I have defined your domain name as SIM card, in a similar way I can make you understand what actually web server is. Web server is just like a cell phone or mobile phone that you possess. What kind of mobile phone that you can have? You can have simple mobile phone, same like that of Nokia 1100, or you even can have iPhone 6 Plus, isn't it? But what's the difference in between them? In mobile Nokia 1100, it has least facilities, whereas in iPhone 6 Plus there would be much more facility. However, from both we can have girls. In a similar way, the web server also can be of least price and of maximum price also, but the difference would be their facilities regarding security, regarding size, space and many more things. Now moving on, what would be the HTTP? It's a protocol and foundation of data communication for the World Wide Web, and it is denoted by HTTP is to //. Have you ever remembered that whenever you open any browser and try to search anything, for example you go for google.com, facebook.com, yahoo.com or any other site, you only type, in the case of for example facebook.com, you only type facebook.com. But have you realized that browser automatically produce http is to //www.facebook.com or http is to //www.google.com? So this HTTP is the protocol that receives the specific web pages of that particular domain. I will explain you about this in upcoming slides also. I just want to say that you have the knowledge what actually HTTP is. Next is FTP. Now what is this FTP? FTP is file transfer protocol. Through HTTP, we can access page of that particular domain, whereas through FTP, we can upload and download the file that we required. So, if any HTML pages or CSS or images or any other file that we like to upload in the web, then it is possible through FTP. In a similar way, if we like to download any file, images or CSS for any kind of amendment in it, in the code itself, then we have to download. Okay, allow me to explain further about FTP. I am here going to show you the real-time example of FTP through FileZilla and software data cable. In my laptop there is FileZilla, whereas in my mobile there is software data cable. Now I will show you the connection between FileZilla and software data cable. Here I open my software data cable, and remember one thing, that software data cable and FileZilla must be in same network, otherwise it won't operate. Here, okay, wait just for a few minutes. What happened to it? It's not opening. Now my software data cable has got FTP //192.168.1.149 is to 8888 slash. Now I'm quick connecting it. Now see, there I have the connection of my mobile phone. For example, if I want to access any image of my mobile phone into my laptop, then see, in my desktop inside the website folder there is nothing, but if I double tap any images of it, then I can have that in my desktop website. For example, this is my desktop and I have got here website folder. This is the image that I have accessed from my mobile phone. Now I think you have got the idea regarding FTP. See, here you can have a concept regarding HTTP. The domain name that we provide in our URL of any browser, it will access its page from the web space through HTTP protocol, and these web pages are kept in the web server in its allocated space. For example, this is the web space, the big bucket, isn't it? So inside there, in any space, there would be web page for that particular domain. For the other domain, we can also have the web pages inside the web space if it has enough space to store the web pages of other domain. Now we can have our domain registration freely through http://registry.cu.cc. Next, we can have web server space through http://www.onefreehosting.com. freely. Let me repeat again. You can have your domain registration through this URL along with web server space through one free hosting is free. It's totally free, and I will teach you how to register domain and how to have your web server space in other next video tutorial. But today I will teach you this common web component that exists in the web environment. Now here we are going to see the implementation of web pages. At the very first there is Facebook. We can have web pages in social networking site. Likewise, we can have it in online e-commerce website like hamrobazaar.com. For the news portal also, there we can have web pages. Simply we can see it through online cover. Next is career development website, and the finest example is merojob.com. Of course, you also can have search engine optimization website. Search engine website, that's Google. And for any other educational site, I have kept Thesaurus. For the entertainment, you can have IMDb, and finally there is YouTube for video sharing website. I have shown you varieties of website example in order to show we can have web development in different sectors. In short, I want to say that we have a lot of opportunity through web development. What are the common elements that exist in the web page then? The common things are HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Now, if you are wondering what actually HTML, CSS and JavaScript are, then it has its got own definition, but through as the perspective of learner or reader to understand it very quickly, I will show you an example of a human body. Now, HTML is like a skeleton of the web page. It provides a skeleton structure in the web environment. CSS is the muscles for that skeleton. In other words, CSS provides graphic design of the HTML pages that you have created. Finally, there is the JavaScript. It provides interaction of that website. It provides, if you hover mouse here and there, if you have to provide some event in the website itself, then it's through JavaScript. Now, allow me to go through HTML. What HTML actually is? It's hypertext markup language. It's the standard markup language to create web pages, and it understands and render into visible audible web pages. As I have already shown you, it's the skeleton of the web page, and it is under the authority of W3C, full form World Wide Web Consortium. Before we go through HTML codes, now let me show you some of its components. The basic components of HTML are its tag name and attribute. What is HTML tag name then? HTML tag is simply a tag that we write in HTML page code. In it, the simple example is HTML, starting of HTML and end of HTML. If we have to write any HTML tag, then we have to write it inside greater sign and lesser sign, and some of the tags need to be enclosed by slash with the particular tag name inside the greater and lesser sign, and some does not require end tag, which we will discuss in later. Next is attribute. Attribute are the things that are associated with HTML tag. If in the main tag there is something that are besides the HTML tag, then they are attributes. For example, here you can see there is not simply HTML in its initial, it has got lang equals to en-us. Over here lang is attribute, and this attribute is telling something regarding HTML tag. It want to say that this HTML pages is specifically emphasized to those readers who are in the American based. If somebody like to have web pages that are regarding American web pages, then lang provides the information that this web pages is constructed to the readers who want to have American websites. Next question is why HTML? Why actually HTML is popular? Because it is easy to use and supported by all browsers, and very search engine friendly, plus it's free. And what are the text editor that is used in order to write HTML code? Some of the examples are Notepad, WordPad, TextEdit, Notepad++. In it you can have your HTML code. Before going through any HTML code, allow me to tell you something about comment. It is very important, because I will tell you what are the reasons, but I want to tell you at the very first, comment are not displayed in your browser. And I am repeating once again, although comment are not displayed in the browser, but it is very important. That's why I am telling my slide is before the HTML tags that I am going to teach you. There is comment slide. Now, do you want to see what are its benefit? Actually, comment are written in order to explain the code. It would be quite tedious if we provide explanation of code in the website itself. Thus, we provide comment on the explanation of code. It also documents our HTML code. Next thing is the code that we have to debug or test can be comment, so that we can test any code that are executing or not. And finally, it's for noting down the things. And one of the great saying that I have found in my research is that good developer write code for humans, whereas bad one write for machine. If somebody is writing code just to display in the computer, then be sure that he or she is bad developer, because he or she is writing code for the machine only, but the good one writes for human. Suppose if there require some amendments in future, then if the codes are well structured and written in good format of comment, then anybody can understand it and easily amend. So be very careful regarding this thing. Next is HTML5 declaration. We can declare HTML5 through lesser sign, exclamation, doc type, space, HTML, greater sign. It declares that web pages is of HTML5. In the HTML5 there are some features like division of the elements. We can have separate division. Next is controlling attributes. Mainly there are a lot of attributes that is provided in the form, which we will see in our later studies. Next is multimedia things. Under it there comes audio, video, canvas, etc. HTML basic element. In the HTML, the basic elements are HTML, head and body. Okay, let me start with the code. At the very first I am providing comment. See, declaration of HTML5. Afterwards I have declared HTML5. Then I have started my HTML tag, but before that I am providing comment starting of HTML, end of HTML page and ending it. Now I want to teach you over here is that whenever I start any HTML tag, I enclose it at very first so that I won't forget to close anything in later. That's why I am closing it at the very first. Next is starting of head. Afterwards there is body. Have you remembered one thing that I want to show, that my HTML tag and head tag are not in the same range, rather than it is tabbed a little bit far away from HTML. Do you want to know the reason why I have done like that? For example, now at the current time I have a simple code. It only consists HTML tag, declaration of HTML5, head, body and some comments regarding it. But tomorrow there would be a lot of code, around 500, 1000, 200, less or more than that. If all are in the same range, then it would be very difficult to find out which HTML tag actually you want to study, change it or copy it or like to do something. So it is better to indent it. Now there comes head section. Inside the head I have provided title and meta tag. Do you want to know the reason why I have kept title and meta tag? Title provides the information of the web pages that you are going to make. For example, I am going to make a web page that has title home-organization name. In it want to say that it's the home page of some organization. And what is meta tag? Meta tag simply is used for SEO, that is search engine optimization, like Google, Bing, Ask. They provide web pages at the very first. For example, if you provide your name in the Google and search it, and if you are not so much popular or you are ordinary person like me, then if you enter it, what do you think? Will Google show your information at the very first page? It might not be. If you are not popular, then it might not be. Why? Because others web pages are had done search engine optimized. But it does not mean that your information are not shown in the Google. It has shown your information, but not in the very first pages. It might be in second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. It goes on pagination that you can see in the below of Google in some pages that your information exists over there. Do you know why? Because you are connected in Facebook or in Twitter, in something in the internet world. From there you can have the information regarding it. Next is body. In the body section, the information that you want to see in your web pages is done through body. All the code that you have written in the body section are only visible. If from the very first, if you have started your code by declaring HTML5, afterwards starting HTML tag, then there's your head section. Inside the head section there is title, meta tag. Now in the body section you have just written learning HTML. After writing this, now you require to save it also. Thus, in order to save and display any web pages, you have to follow some criteria. Now, the code that you have written in your text editor need to be saved with any name that you provide and .html extension. At the very first, I want to suggest you that if you are saving your home page, then please save it in index.html. Do you want to know the reason why I am suggesting you this? Because whenever you upload your website, then at the very first your domain name will be in search of index.html page for the static website or client-side website. Okay, now in order to display that specific .html file, you can open it through browser, and you might be familiar with this browser that I am showing. For example, Internet Explorer, Firefox, Google Chrome, Safari, Opera. These might be the browser that you are familiar with. Finally, text editor that would be appropriate for you guys will be Dreamweaver CC, because in the web environment, if you want to work and if you want to make your career, then you must be familiar with Adobe products. That's why I am suggesting you Dreamweaver would be very fruitful for you guys. You might also be having query regarding why I am focusing you to have Dreamweaver. Then let's see some of the advantages of Dreamweaver would be it provides code highlightation. Next, it suggests code, and the most significant features of Dreamweaver is it provides you with the prompt code and design view. In other words, I mean to say that if you want to view your design in the very first without going through any browser, without saving your code in the text editor and going through your browser and refreshing it to view the output, it would be very much fruitful if you have Dreamweaver. Then you can see your design whenever you write your code. Now allow me to show you the actual real-time code through Dreamweaver. So here I have Adobe Dreamweaver CC. Okay, let's go through the code. At the very first, I want to teach you how to write comment. At the very first, I am doing declaration of HTML5, and it can be done through doc type HTML. Next, I am starting HTML tag. End of HTML tag. After that, I am having starting of head. End of head. Inside the head tag, I am providing title. Okay, inside the title, allow me to write a code that is exactly the same that I have taught you just earlier. This is the title name, and next is meta tag. Let's provide name equals to description, and the content is description of the web page. Now let's go through the body. Starting of body, end of body. Learning HTML. Now I am going to save this HTML page inside website. For example, I am going to save it in index.html. Now, in order to see its output, I am going to that particular website folder, and the code that I have given, I am going to browse it through Firefox and see my title, my output that I have written in my body. So guys, this was for today. This is my first tutorial. I hope you have enjoyed a lot, and my second tutorial will be regarding how to register domain, how to register web server space in cu.cc and in one free hosting. Now I want to say goodbye. Have a nice day ahead. Thank you.